Now, I don't know about you guys, but the characteristics that I've been looking for lately in my pocket knives are kind of like overbuilt, hard-hitting, heavy-duty folders. Well, that's exactly what I have here for us today. The ANV Knives A400 Hard Task. I'm double check. Now, this is based off of the ANV Knives Hard Task fixed blade that we tested out a few weeks back, just in pocket knife form. And this has some really interesting characteristics. It is definitely huge, heavy duty built. So we're gonna find out today if the durability and capability of its fixed blade brethren kind of carries over into the more carryable, pocket friendly folder, or are there some characteristics that are great for a fixed blade, but that just don't make sense on a pocket knife and really cause us to fall short. We're gonna discover all of that today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in. It is refreshing to see unique designs and characteristics. There's so many like carbon copy, you know, they feel very like stamped out, you know, not a lot of thought put into the models that are coming out these days, particularly from certain manufacturers. And one thing right out of the gate, yeah, that's right, that is a fire steel notch right there that they have put on the lower portion, uncoated steel, so that you can launch sparks, and it will absolutely do that. Great for outdoor use. It should easily be able to fit most 3/8 fire steel should be able to fit in there. That is carried over from its big brother, the fixed blade. Had that as well, previously reviewed. I'll have the video popping up right here if you want to check out the full fixed blade, which is a dedicated like combat field knife is what its intended purpose is. So that's a really cool, unique kind of standout feature. Great for the outdoors, maybe not so great for tactical use. So that's the first kind of question we have to answer, and you're gonna have to answer for yourself. Do you plan on using this more and that you see value in a fire steel notch? But that is a massive snag point for webbing, cordage, potentially, and netting. So depending on what you go through, depending on what you see value in, that may or may not be awesome. And leave a comment below. I want to know, what do you guys think of that? It does leave for a great resharpening choil right there. So something to know. We have a high saber grind on a 4-inch blade. At least that's what my little ruler says down here on my mat. I know I get a lot of questions about this mat, so I'll try and have that popping up right there if you're interested. It's a great little workstation and great for these videos. But yeah, 4-inch blade, high saber grind, excellent grind choice on an 1/8 of an inch thick stock, which holds that basically to the transition point of where the grind starts to taper into a very precise tip. This is the second question you have to answer. Great piercing tip, so it's going to stab excellently, pierce material, be a great little tool, tip to guide through material, but I would not be doing any sort of lateral. It's not thick. It's not a thick tip like some other tools that may be out there, even that we may be looking at here a little bit later. Whereas again, we got like just a broader tip on its fixed blade big brother. So do you think that was a miss or excellent that they focused a little bit more on piercing and precision than on thickness and durability on that tip? It again really comes down to, are you looking at this as like an EDC folder that has a lot of potential and capability, or are you looking at this as like a tactical folder? Tactical folder, maybe a little too thin. Gonna be real. So with that, what about the steel choice? Very cool to see SHARPENER steel on a folder. We don't see that very often. Actinon Verba ANV Knives has been doing SHARPENER steel for quite a while, used it quite a bit, excellent. It is a modified D2, so it's a semi-stainless tool steel. So it's out of Sweden originally, good wear resistance, excellent toughness. It won't, it's got I believe it's a Cerakote. It's a DLC or a Cerakote on this. It will rust on you. Not my experience, not as much as D2 will, like uncoated D2, but that's me, and your mileage may vary. Easy to resharpen comparatively compared to other steels that are out there. So it's a good balance. It's a good balance steel and brings something kind of unique to the folder arena that we don't see too often. I know some European folders maybe have it from Lion Steel, but kind of rare to find. But I really like the steel, particularly on fixed blades. I've had great success with that type of steel. On the back spine, we have that word hard task right there. And then let's talk about resharpening, since I highlighted that. This does have what they call a very light recurve. I'm going to hopefully show this to you. I can barely even see it. I mean, it's there, but it's so minute. so minute. Recurves have never been something that intimidates me. For some people, you know, it's a non-starter, so leave a comment below if it is a non-starter for you. But what really accelerates it is if you have rods over flat stones for resharpening. You know, like this will still be able to easily do that flat stone on that work sharp. But this is a SHARPEL I've been using a lot lately. And the whole kit, including multiple stones and ceramic rods and strops, they all fit inside this handle, so it's very transportable. Great features. There are a few things that I'm like, I'm not quite sure. Like this adjustable ramp, cool idea. I don't know. Full review coming. But you can see there's a 1000 grit rod and ceramic rod. That is always the best. Like you could do resharpen. Sorry, there we go. Resharpen a kukri on something like that. And this is no problem. So, but if you had like a 2-inch broad stone, you know, it'd be a little tricky, I guess, but it's so minute in the recurve that it shouldn't be an issue. So a lot going on with that blade. Look forward to seeing the comments. Now, what about the deployment and this handle? Look at that thing, ribbed for your ergonomic pleasure. And we're gonna get to that in just a moment. It's always sad when you have to retire a beloved piece of gear, but I recently had to do that with my Salomon XA Forces boots. They've been with me for a few years now, and it was time to update them. And thankfully, LA Police Gear is having a closeout deal going on right now on XA Forces shoes. So I have used these extensively and seeing their performance for these last couple years on multiple backpacking trips, more day hikes than I can count, and just daily living, they have been performing so well for me, and with the Gore-Tex lining offering a level of waterproof capability that is almost unmatched. And so I will have a link popping up here as well as in the description box below this video over to the LA Police Gear website where you can explore all the different features that these boots offer. So I invite you to hop on over and check them out before they're gone for good. Now I really like that red accent on the crossbar stud. Goes along well with those back spacers right there, in tandem with the glow-in-the-dark orb that they put inside the flipper. Acton On-Verb always does these little accents that are just really cool. I really like them. So flow-through construction, very easy to deploy, even with massive like leather winter gloves on. Very easy to do and easy to pinch and pull back and close. So you're going to get great deployment. The guard partners up, or the flipper partners up as a massive guard right there. All rounded machined. It's not sharp at all. They always do a great job with their fit and finish. And then you pull back on that crossbar, and then you can do that, or you can just pull the crossbar back and open. Now, this is, so deployment and the crossbar feature, excellent. Got enough weight on the blade to be able to do that because of the detent. You can see there the detent. I mean, you can just swing it open. So it'll stay in there, but you know, with barely any effort, because it accelerates itself on bearings, ball bearings. That's fine. The lockup, let me double check here. Yeah, it's solid. I mean, I have a little bit of movement, but you're gonna get that with every bearing type of tool that I've ever tested. Washers would have been better. Just gonna say it. Bronze washers, that's what they should have done on this one. That's my personal opinion. For the deployment, they're just less maintenance, get gunked up, who cares? You know, if you have to take it apart, it's less things that you just have to like clean out. If it had bronze washers, might have been a little slower on the deployment, but that's okay. I would sacrifice that for added durability. So leave a comment below. Bearings or washers for this type of hard-hitting, hard-task knife. Look forward to hearing what you guys think. Now, let's go ahead and look at these ergos, and the G10 has been ribbed just like on the fixed blade. So what that means is, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, high traction, high traction with a huge guard right there and blocky cut-in jimping. I mean, you are so locked into place. Huge handle. Look at that. Look at how much is coming off that back end there. They filled it out well, contoured it. I mean, it even has scalping. It looks like a fixed blades level handle. You know, again, most folders we see are pretty squared off, blocky. Even the ADAMAS, it's just flat on the sides right there. This has, you know, scalloping and angles and contouring to your hand, you know, to really, the level of machining that went into this handle is quite a bit to accentuate ergonomics, which it absolutely does, and giving you very high traction. So when I'm gripping the tool, it doesn't create a hot spot, doesn't do anything like an issue, but gives me great traction if I was slashing, stabbing, and especially, again, I'm just thinking winter gloves. Lots of winter glove stuff, no problema, and it's going to really lock you into place there, and even in a reverse grip. And if you have large hands or, just those big gloves, you're going to be fully gripping the tool in that regard. They have put, let me just double check there. Yeah, liners that are machined out there. I think I'll annotate in the weight. I forget the weight off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 4 ounces. It's pretty light for how big the tool is. It's light, definitely lighter than some of the competitive options. So those attributes. Now, when it comes to the handle length, this is where we may run into some stuff. It's 5.5 inches, very long on the handle. The back end flares out. You have ambidextrous loop over deep ride pocket clip. If you're jumping out of an airplane and parachuting into a hot zone and you don't want your pocket knife to fall out of your pocket, this is the pocket clip design in tandem with those ribbed handle scales for you. If you actually want to pull it out of your pocket and use it without like fighting your pants, not awesome. I'm gonna be real, not awesome. The tension is pretty intense right there on that wire pocket clip. And because of the ribbing, it's not only going to thrash your pants like jeans and slacks and things like that if you're going to wear it with those. It's a pretty bearish to get it out of your pants. So you really got to like fight it to get it out. Now you could, what I would probably do is remove the pocket clip and flatten out and sand down a flat portion underneath here if you want to deploy this quickly. So as a combat kind of like hard-hitting, potentially focused self-defense tool, it's actually kind of a bear to get out quickly. Now, because of how big it is, it's able to get and be pulled out, and it's going to take up a lot of real estate, so that you just need to be aware of that and ready for that. It's going to eat up a lot of real estate in your pocket, and it's not going to fall out. I mean, you could freaking fall down a mountain, and it's not going to happen. It'll still be in your pocket at the bottom of the hill. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. There's that tip in there. It is buried. I'm not going to snag it. When I run my finger up and down and put some of the meat of my finger in there, if I really try to like pull it out, I've been able to do it once or twice. It's kind of tricky, but I can get it. Yeah, man. All right. Well, there was a point in time where I could. There it is. There, I can get it. There. All right. So it would have been. I mean, it's definitely in there, but I see this a lot in European knives where it's close, a little too close for comfort, but you're not gonna like snag something like that or with some of the meat of your hand in there. So it would have been nice just to have like a millimeter more, just to bury that tip just a hair better. Would have been my opinion. It's not gonna snag on you when you just go across it or whatever. So that is good. Now, with all that said, what about value? What about competitive options? And I do appreciate ANV Knives hooking me up with this model. I saw it. They were like, hey, we got this new model coming out. Are you interested? I was like, yeah, totally. Send me a sample. Let's see what happens. And so what we're looking at really is under $200, which is great. I think it's like $190 here in the States. I will have a link popping up here. I know they're just becoming available. If you're in Europe, ANV Knives, since they are built in the Czech Republic, their website would be the better choice to go. So I'll have a link as well over there where you can see, the exchange rates and all that stuff. So under 200 for, all the features and all the time and energy into all of these little characteristics. It's not just like cranking out something that's pretty generic. And there's a lot of time and energy and thought put into this. It'll depend on whether or not. It really, I think, is going to depend on how you want to deploy the blade. As the one competitive option is obviously the BENCHMADE ADAMAS in crew wear. Crew wear is a better steel. The kind of the original hard hitter in this crossbar lock arena. Love this blade still. Easier to deploy out of the pocket because it has flat scales that are not ribbed with that type of pocket clip, but much heavier. But it's cold in here, so the pivot is having some issues. I believe bronze washers, it went last time I took it apart there. But thicker stock for sure, so it's definitely not going to be as slicey, definitely like heavier duty. The tip is heavier, more reinforced, those type of things, and it's going to be significantly more. What is this, like over $300, like almost like 150 more for this guy, so I'll have a link popping up for that as well. Still an amazing, amazing hard-hitting tool. This is just a much better value. It's really going to come down to the performance. Love to see your guys' thoughts, feedback. If you got value out of this video, I appreciate you guys leaving a comment and checking the like button and to consider subscribing If you are not yet a subscriber, you can check out the other video popping up. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.